Welcome back to another episode of Buchanan Beat. I'm here with Rob Roush. Welcome.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here again.
Yeah, always fun. Rob, it's September now, and seasons are changing real quickly here.
Yes, they are.
It's been a really hot end of summer.
Yes, it
is. And we're moving into the fall. What's your favorite fall activity?
I enjoy football. I like watching football more than anything. Too old to play it anymore, that's for sure.
Okay. Team? What's your team?
I am a Steelers fan and Ohio State, of course.
Okay. All right. I can get with you on Ohio State. I'm a Bengals fan, so I don't know if we should end this conversation here or if we can be cordial and be friendly about this.
Oh, I'm very cordial. I don't care who wins. I enjoy watching.
Okay.
I want the Steelers to win, but I just enjoy watching the game.
Very good. Very good. Well, Rob, I want to talk a little bit about this In Indiana campaign because our drivers are cruising around in Indiana and across state lines with these In Indiana stickers on their trailers. What is Buchanan's involvement with this In Indiana campaign?
So David Holt is someone that Gary knew that I got in touch with, and we were talking, and he is part of the Indiana Destination Development Corporation, IDDC. And what he was doing was trying to find some partners that would help with the campaign to bring tourism and new residents to the state of Indiana. When he asked us to be a part of it, we were one of the first ones. You know, we crossed state lines. Having that message just on the back of a trailer gives them a good broad reach to those who aren't in Indiana yet.
Okay, so I think you mentioned, just so I can get my head around this, and maybe our drivers as well, you mentioned something about Pure Michigan, and this is almost an equivalent to that campaign that we've seen on billboards and we've seen on television, that in Indiana is similar to that to bring tourism to the state.
It is. Pure Michigan has a lot of revenue behind it, and they've done a nice job. I mean, it's been going on for years. In Indiana, doesn't have the backing with revenue that does. So what we're doing on our social media, we're going to do videos where we talk about things that we love in Indiana, Fort Wayne or Indianapolis, or destinations such as the Dunes or the Children's Zoo. They'll go there, they'll do a little footage of that, put those together. We'll put it on our social media, they'll put it on theirs. The zoo or whoever else will put it on theirs, and it gets a reach for people just to kind of go out. And these are the things that we have, and they are fun. Indiana is a nice state. Most people don't think of this as a vacation state.
Yeah.
But there are fun things to do here.
Yeah, for sure. And you've had an experience to be part of some of those videos and some of those on-site visits, correct?
We did. Back in August, we were able to go down to the Indianapolis Zoo. We took a truck and a trailer, and we put some stickers on that truck as well. Elaine Bettel, who is the lead of the IDDC, was there. Governor Holcomb was there. Gary got to shake hands with him and get to meet him, and he'd met the governor once before in an elevator, but this time he really got to have a conversation. Then we spent maybe an hour walking around the zoo, following the governor around. It was pretty cool. And once that was done, they took us backstage and we petted dolphins.
Okay. How was that experience?
Interesting. I mean,
what does a dolphin feel like?
Wet rubber. Wet rubber.
Wet rubber, okay.
That's how I would describe it.
Nobody was attacked by dolphins, though.
No one was attacked. A lot of us did get down and got to pet them and feed them a little fish or whatever. And the knowledge the guy had was incredible about how they teach them and what they teach them to do, and it was fun. It was a good time.
So it was a bit of a personal experience as well as a company endeavor to be part of this in Indiana. And I think you mentioned, Rob, as we were talking before this, that Buchanan was one of the first companies to join in this in Indiana endeavor. Why is that important to Buchanan to be part of this?
Well, I think we are the first to officially get in. There were some folks talking about doing it with businesses, but we've kind of pushed it a little bit because I wanted to get out there for Buchanan, and I wanted to get out there for the state. So we've been kind of driving them a little harder than they're driving us. I think it's important because we're trying to attract new and better talent, whether it's drivers or dispatchers, to our business. We want to be someone, when they hear the name Buchanan Hauling or Buchanan Logistics, they know who we are. We've done a lot of things in the recent past, sponsoring the Tin Caps, this radio station we're trying to push out, other things just to get the name recognized. Mm-hmm. And to put that within Indiana campaign definitely will help.
So it's important to the company, it's important to the state, it's important for business and tourism. So for our drivers, as you're driving across state lines and again through the state of Indiana, and you've got that in Indiana sticker on the back of your trailer, you're representing our state, you're representing our company, and you're be a good representative, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Bring people to Indiana.
Bring them here. Yep.
Right on. Well, Rob, thanks for joining me today on Buchanan Beat. This is Let's Get Fiscal. My name's Brian, here with Dave Francis once again. Dave, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Brian. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to ask you to complete a sentence here. Fall is for...
Football.
Football.
Yep.
All right. Do you have a favorite team that you follow?
Yep.
And
college is my thing, and Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Yep.
Okay. Let me ask you, college over NFL, why?
I enjoy it because they change quite a bit. Every year it's a different team.
Okay.
So they always got to come to play. Plus, I always like Notre Dame football.
All right.
When you get to college or when you get to the pros, it's I don't know. Browns have not been too successful, neither Detroit. So
okay, those are your two teams.
Kind of the other
okay.
teams, yeah.
All right.
Even though they don't go well together, but those are the kind of teams I watch.
Yeah. Again, I know people have heard it before on the show this month. I'm a Bengals fan, so I'm okay that Cleveland isn't doing so well. But anymore, NFL, the teams change
exactly
quickly anyway. So maybe it's getting more like college than we thought, with a lot more money. Potentially. I don't know.
Exactly.
We're not here to talk about football.
Yep.
It's fun talking about football.
Yep.
But let's talk about what you have to bring to the table today. We're talking about securement and claims. So talk about securement, and then we'll talk about why we're talking about securement a little bit later.
Yeah, exactly. From an accounting perspective, right? So securement, we have the regulations out there by the FMCSA, and they talk about the different types of securement, right? What's the weight limits and, how to tie down things and make sure that we have the appropriate, equipment like the straps, chains, binders, those types of things. And then you're like, whoa, how does this tie into accounting? Well, there's a lot of issues that we see without proper securement. We even have a securement academy that will train people how to properly secure loads. Okay. And so, inadequate training is a big issue. Improper loading, the insufficient restraints, not enough of them, or maybe too small, and then faulty equipment. Things are starting to break, they're getting old, they're not paying attention, and then also lack of inspections. So as the driver is taking the load, they should frequently inspect their what they're hauling. And so what happens is, because of those things, there's claims.
Okay. If those aren't done right,
yes.
or faulty equipment, something breaks, we have claims on this side of it that you deal with.
Yep, and that's where I come in, and the team that we have in accounting starts handling the claim from a customer. Hey, the load didn't come. I had a load shift. So, again, they didn't properly secure the load inside the trailer, and now they won't take the load. And this isn't the case of some of our beverage companies. And what ends up happening is they reject the load, and now we have to go and get it destroyed, depending on what it is. If it's alcohol or water or whatever, they sometimes will not take what we were hauling.
Yeah.
And now that's not necessarily on the asset side, but it's something I deal on the broker side more.
Sure.
But yeah, so that's a big problem, and that could be the whole load value, that they've got to now go destroy, which is crazy. You wouldn't think it would be, but I guess they're picky.
Yeah, right. So proper securement goes a long way, not just for the customer relationship and not for just getting the load there on time and, safely, but on the back end with the claims and saving the company money and all of that too. So any final thoughts or final words of wisdom for drivers?
Yeah, I think the big thing is, it all comes back down to just following through on their training. Make sure they're checking. And also sometimes, some of these load shifts, we have one that was a hard break and some poles went right through the window and nearly there's a near miss on hitting the driver's head. That's how close it is. So it's really a big safety.
So it's not even just about the load, it's about the safety of the driver and anyone else that's on the road, which, again, coming into fall, traffic patterns are a little different with school starting and all of that too. So, I know that doesn't necessarily have to do with securement, but securement's a big part of the safety on the road for sure.
Yep. Safe load, safe driver, and then ultimately gets the job done.
Right. Well, Dave, thank you for joining me today on Let's Get Fiscal.
Thanks, Brian.
Hi, everybody. This is Veronica Gorney, Safety Coordinator at Buchanan Hauling and Rigging, and welcome to 1 Mile at a Time. What do you think of when you hear the phrase, Buchanan's best? Many Buchanan employees and partners share the same opinion, our drivers. Our driver group is comprised of dedicated individuals who spend long hours on the road, away from family and friends, covering more miles in a year than most of us will in our lifetime. The transportation industry acknowledges and celebrates drivers outside of the day-to-day and formally during Driver Appreciation Week. Thank you, Buchanan drivers, for being safety conscious, responsible, punctual, focused, organized, and great at communication. We truly appreciate each of you. This is Veronica Gorney with 1 Mile at a Time.
Welcome back to HR Horizons. My name's Brian. I'm here with Amy McNamara. Welcome back, Amy.
Thanks, Brian.
I know fall is here, and it's one of your favorite times of year, if I remember correctly.
It is.
Because why?
Football is starting, so I'm excited. Colts looked pretty decent in their preseason game against the Bears. We won. So, yeah, I'm excited to see where they go this year with their new quarterback.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm not a big Colts fan, but new quarterbacks are always, kind of hit or miss. I'm excited for the team and the fans.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Are you getting down there for some games this year?
Yes, we'll go to a couple games. We always try to get down there for a few. It's been a rough couple years, so
yeah, it's
we'll
about
see.
time. Again, I'm a Bengals fan. I know I said that on another show, and I know what a rough couple of years looks like.
Yes,
I know
you
what
do.
a rough couple decades look like. So yeah, we're finally on the uptick. So yeah, hoping we stay there this season. So Amy, tell us a little bit about, besides football, what's on the horizon for HR?
So the month of September, we're doing wellness screenings, biometric screenings. You should have gotten an email sent to you with sign-up information. You will be able to register for that online and go to any clinic near you to get your blood drawn or any lab near you. That does count as your well checkup for the year, so it will go towards getting an additional discount on your insurance premiums in 2024.
That's always helpful.
Yes, it is.
Always helpful. Okay, so wellness screenings, and then there's, I think you mentioned something else about mail-in pharmacy changes?
Oh, yes, the pharmacy. If you do mail order prescriptions, you should have gotten something in the mail to give you instructions on how to change. They're going with a new pharmacy. It'll either be Amazon Pharmacy or something through Walmart, and you will get that information, instructions on how to set up, but you will have to call and get that set up.
Okay, so just be sure to keep an eye on your email.
Yes.
For the information about the wellness screening that's going to save you on your insurance. And if you're part of the mail-in pharmacy, if you get mail-in prescription drugs, make sure you
watch the mailbox.
Watch the mailbox for that as well. So, well, Amy, thank you for joining me this month for HR Horizons. Good luck to the Colts.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll talk soon.
All right.
Welcome back to Buchanan Travel Tours. My name's Brian. I'm here with Drew Dafford. As always, Drew, welcome back.
Thanks. Always a pleasure.
Always fun talking with you, Drew. I'm curious, this fall, this September, what are you most looking forward to?
Just the cooler weather. I mean, July is pretty hot and heavy, so just the cooler weather just sounds fantastic.
Yeah, we had some really hot days there mid-August.
Yep.
It was really rough.
Yeah.
Remember when the air conditioning was out?
Yeah, it's out today too.
Yeah. How about that? So yes, the cooler weather, I love that. So Drew, I know communication is key in any organization, but specifically in this role, the communication between drivers and dispatch is incredibly important. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so drivers start their day with their pre and post trips, doing their trip planning based off of how many miles they need to get from A to B. If one little piece of information doesn't get sent out to either to the driver from us to them or from them to us, we're going to fail. So make sure they have enough time to get from A to B.
So it's important to plan, right? Pre and post trip, make sure you have enough time to get from where you are to where you're going. Sometimes there's delays in that process. What does that look like for communication to dispatch when that happens?
Yeah, so if there's any problems with the equipment, if they need any breakdown help, relaying that to dispatch so we can, get a service out there to get you fixed up, and relay to our customer and to the customer that we're having some delays. So we're not letting them know after the fact. We have a very large customer base here at Buchanan, and we want to honor those commitments that we have to being there on time. That's one of the big things here with us is honoring what we are going to do.
And so the big payoff then is where we stick to our word, right? We communicate well. What's the payoff in all of that?
Ultimately, if we're doing very well communicating with our customers, we could get more money for everybody, really. And that's what we're all here for, right?
That's right. That's right. Well, Drew, any final words on communication this month?
Just talk to your dispatch day in and day out. Anything that might be a delay or even just a chit-chat with them, reach out to us. We're always here.
Right on. Well, Drew, thanks for joining me today on Buchanan Travel Tours.
Thank you.